Energy levels, come on, pick it up. Yeah, go for it. You know how on podcast you're quite like, hello, like that. Did anyone ever tell you you are made for radio? Hey, let's just go for my chocolate bar.
Take 700. Hi guys, welcome to the weekly positive news chat. Namisha and I have spoken to a number of people throughout the week, and this is our opportunity just to have a look back, tell you about their stories, and just to give you a bit of information. So Namisha, I'll hand it to you. You can kick us off. Who are we talking about first?
We are going to talk about a company called Drinks Cubed, and you actually did this interview. You spoke to the guys over at Drinks Cubed. But yeah, they're a cool business, and I'll let you kind of get into the details, but essentially they've done something really, really nice for hospital staff here in the UK, and Michael will tell you the rest.
They were a startup only 6 months ago, decided to leave their jobs and start this carbon reducing footprint company in which they were going to bring a drinks brand to the market and cut all carbon emissions along the way, which was a really great idea. And they just started, they put all their money into it, and then COVID hit and it all went down the Swanee with no help.
I don't even know what down the Swanee means.
Is that a Nottingham saying? That might be a Nottingham saying.
So they basically had a decision to make, and they decided to help their NHS hospitals around them because they had all these warehouses of water bottles, and rather than just letting that stock sit there, they were inspired by members of their family who work for the NHS or the front line, and people wearing PPE were saying it gets really hot underneath their PPE equipment. So they decided to donate this water to their local hospital, and it just accelerated and it just rolled and rolled, and now they're supplying water bottles free of charge, completely free, to various NHS hospitals and services around the country, completely free of charge. And I think they've sent now over 30,000 bottles around the country. And also, I should add, they're not bottles, they're cartons, because that obviously helps with the carbon emissions and the recycling and the sustainability. So cartons of water, and they are just keeping our NHS frontline workers hydrated.
I believe we are now going to chat about autism and a little something called Autisms Got Talent.
Yeah.
And I believe that you spoke to someone called Dr. Anna Kennedy as well during the week, and she's doing some phenomenal things to help kids, adults alike with autism, raising awareness for the charity that she's also a part of or runs. And she's doing incredible things for the charity, and they have actually started something called Autisms Got Talent. Sorry, yeah. I say started, it's actually been running since 2012, I believe. And it's an opportunity for kids to get up on stage, battle their kind of fears of maybe performing to an audience, and just do what they love doing. So whether that's singing or acting or, doing some magic. It just looks like a really fun show. And I think she mentioned to you that this year may be slightly different. Obviously, they may not be able to kind of host the show as they normally do because of COVID.
Autism is a disability that you can't really define it. There are different triggers. There are different reasons why both children and adults might suffer in a certain scenario. What she's done is through the Anna Kennedy charity that she started, she's now brought this massive annual stage show, and it's just grown and grown. And it is like Britain's Got Talent. She said herself, it's better than Britain's Got Talent, to the point where when Autism Got Talent got big, Fremantle and Simon Cowell got in touch, and they weren't keen on her using the Got Talent phrase caption, and she fought it and won. Hence why Autism's Got Talent is still called that. They have international applicants. They don't have a winner, which I really quite liked as well. It's just a chance to get on stage at a proper theatre in a proper dressing room scenario, rehearsals, the lot. They're mic'd up, they do makeup, what you name it. It's a proper production. I'm quite jealous, actually. I'd quite like to do something like that, I think. And there's celebrities, and there's a red carpet, and there's a press event, and it all stemmed from her having two sons with autism who had no opportunities. Schools didn't really understand their needs and what they required, so she worked on that. And here we are in 2020, and the charity is now huge. She's got an OBE from the Queen for the work she's done. Just a very inspiring woman. And my to-do list decreased dramatically that day because of how motivational she was. I was like, if she can do all that in a day, I can get on with my jobs of doing the washing up and just all the little other things that I put off doing throughout the day. So again, really cool woman, and we look forward to seeing Autism's Got Talent when it can go ahead this year, hopefully.
Another brilliant story this week. James McInerney, a poet who is creating poems, or who has created poems, and is spreading the message of mental health awareness through his poems. And I believe that he also runs something called the Poetry Project, in which they do this.
So he's been writing poetry since 1998, and he said he hated poetry at school because they didn't teach it. And then he started playing with film scores and writing, and then he started merging the two. And all of a sudden he got into this sort of long poems, short poems, a whole variety of stuff, learning more. He's now got a number of books out, and those books have led him to the Poetry Project, which is a project in which his poetry is displayed all around the UK predominantly. So you've probably seen it if you're in the UK, especially if you're in London. It's on the Underground from time to time. It's in Stansted Airport. It's in shopping centres around the UK. And now he's gone to Australia and America, and he's having similar success. He talks about quite openly about where America is in terms of mental health and their stance on it, which was insightful and interesting to listen to. A man on a mission. He's just trying to make a change through poetry.
I just really love what you said at the beginning, which is he hated poetry and then is now writing poems. And I think that's just brilliant. Really intrigued as well to hear from people who have hated something but have actually gone on to do it as a profession or as a hobby once they're older.
He's open about the fact that that's changed his life, and now he feels he owes poetry something because poetry's opened all these doors for him. But he said, absolutely hated it. Never did it in school, didn't like it, and now it's changed his life. So good for him.
Good for him. Yeah, that sounds like an awesome project. And again, you can find out more details on our blog. So check it out if you want to know more about James McInerney and the Poetry Project. And finally,
last but not least,
if you
like
no, I liked it. If you like wine and you like going online, that rhymes. If you like wine,
all right, James McInerney.
I'm just influenced by the poetry. So for the third time, if you like wine, this story might be for you. I know that there are multiple businesses and companies doing this, but one person I spoke to this week, her name's Abby Ireland. She owns a business called the Wine Tours of Kent. Essentially, it's drinking wine with your mates on Zoom or online on a video sharing platform. So basically virtual wine tastings. Now, prior to this situation of COVID-19, I would never have even thought about doing online wine tasting. It kind of sounds like something you would have to actually be at the vineyard to experience. But anyway, as all people do, innovation, coming up with new ideas to, save the business essentially. Just sounded awesome. So essentially she hosts sessions if you want to jump on Zoom with your friends and family, few households get together, sign up to one of her packages. She's obviously sent out the wines in advance, and then she does a kind of tasting experience with you over video chat. And she talks about kind of how you compare wines with your meals, the aromas. She really gets into it as you would in person. But it just sounds really cool. So if you want wine tasting experience, I'm sure there's loads of people out there doing it. This one specifically is in a place called Kent, not too far from London. Very cool.
As if you need an excuse to have a wine at lunch, Namisha.
I don't know what you're talking about.
4 really cool people, many more cool people to come. So more to come.